Greetings, YouTube. So Merriam-Webster has announced that the 2019 word of the year is the singular pronoun they. So people who are non-binary can have a word to use to refer to themselves in everyday parlance. Now, this kind of surprises me because a singular version of they has been in use for centuries. People use it all the damn time. They just don't think about it. They, should we just throw that in there all the time? Just never consider the word as being a singular pronoun, even though they themselves use them as singular pronouns. It only seems to get their panties in a bunch when someone asks that to be used, the word to be used, because they themselves do not identify as either male or female. And I don't see the issue any more than I see the issue in someone saying, please call me Bob, regardless of what the person looks like. The person wants to be called Bob, you call them Bob. I don't care what their actual name is. It's a sign of respect. And again, I can't quite figure out why people get their pennies in a bunch of the word cisgender and transgender, or words, I should say. I've had people throw at me the whole, well, those are made up words. I've got a news flash for you, Sparky. All words are made up. And if you'd like to complain about cisgender and transgender, go bitch at the Romans. These are not new words. And we are not inventing them just to please a group that you despise. Because if your problem with the word they, when referring as being used as a singular pronoun, is only when you bring it up, when it's brought up about non-binary people, then your problem isn't with the word they. Your problem is with non-binary people. Because you use the word they all the damn time, you just don't think about it. You don't bitch about it in everyday parlance. You just don't. You only bitch about it when someone who's non-binary asks to have it used to refer to them. Then suddenly, it's a big deal. And that isn't about the word they. That's about your bigotry and prejudice. Congratulations. You've shown the world your bigotry and prejudice. Your parents must be so proud. And if they actually are proud, well, you've got shit parents. So I'm happy that that's officially in there because it's going to make the use of that word more common. And some people are not happy until there's an authority figure that says, la! Yes, this word can be used in that way, even though the language is incredibly plastic and how we use the words today is not like how we used the words 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago, and it will not be how we use words 100 years or 1,000 years from now. Language is dynamic. Anyone who doesn't think it is nuts. Dictionaries are not the end all and be all of authority when it comes to language. We are, how we use the terms to communicate. If everybody understands what we're talking about, then congratulations, you are an authority on that language. You may not be using the words quite the same way that they were used before, even the previous generation, even last year. But if you can communicate successfully with someone, then you're using the language correctly. But I am glad the word's there because there are some people who will be swayed by this and feel more comfortable using that term when there is an authority figure backing up that definition. So yay for Merriam-Webster, though I have to freely admit my preference when it comes to dictionaries is in fact the Oxford English Dictionary, because in my book it is the be-all and end-all of all English dictionaries. But that's just me. So tell me, are you comfortable using the word they in everyday conversation when it comes as being used as a singular pronoun? I'm comfortable using it. If I don't know someone's gender, I tend to use they. I use they all the time because I don't want to presume. If I look at someone and I can't figure out how their presentation is, I'll just use they. It's not an insult. It just means that I'm not being an ass. And if I have to, I'll ask, what are your pronouns? Flat out. And then I'll do whatever the person tells me they are. If they tell me they're feminine, I'll use feminine pronouns. If they tell me they're masculine, I'll use masculine pronouns. I'm funny like that. I try when possible to use my words